Hey guys, Frank here with Pirate Ninja. Going to be doing another quick video on World of Warcraft Legion Beta, and just wanted to go over a couple things gold making wise to your garrisons. Your garrisons are not going away, but the ability to make just flat out gold like we have been, which has been a little overpowered, I'm sure everybody could agree with, in World of Draenor. But the actual flat gold that we get out of garrison missions and out of our shipyards is going away, but they're still useful. They're still making you gold. Now, the key to this thing is your resources, your garrison resources here, and you'll note that I don't have any of my moves out. I just logged this. I made a copy from my regular guy, my main. So all my moves are gone. I put the chat box over here because these guys are talking about some spoilers that I want you guys to have to see. So that's out of the way. But I first wanted to show you the shipyard here. This mission. I just copied this from my main, and this is currently a gold mission. I know this is a gold mission from my main, and it is saying it's going to give me Sorcerer's Heir. So that originally was going to give me gold, but now it's giving me Sorcerer's Heir. So that's kind of a one way that they're getting rid of it. So you're still getting Sorcerer's Heir, that's nice and all, but it's not that big of a deal. It will be later, and I'll explain later why that's useful, why these are still somewhat okay. I mean, I've got a pile of left sharks, I could throw them out the window at this point, but I guess you could collect those for the people that are coming back that didn't do their shipyards. You can make some money off of that. I do have about 50 of those saved for that exact thing. We'll see how that goes. I'm not really counting on it too much. But for the shipyards, they have been weakened the most. I think they're almost useless. They're only useful for getting sorcerers, whatevers, what have yous. And I'll explain why you do need that later on. Now, your missions. I just cleared a bunch of missions. It's crazy not having my add-ons. But we'll see this mission here. Okay, this mission is originally one of our missions that we get from having a tavern. So it's the increased gold income missions. And again, this was from my main, who currently has this one being gold. And you're seeing that it's going to give me 500 garrison resources. So instead of giving me a gold buff, it's giving me a garrison buff. And I'm going to show you the garrison resources buff. I'm going to show you what that looks like exactly. When I looked it up on the table, it still shows, your garrison blueprint table. It still shows that it's a tier 3 frost wall tavern gives you more lucrative missions. So I think that tooltip's going to be changed a little bit. I mean, yeah, I guess you could consider it lucrative missions, but yeah, I don't know. I think that needs to be changed a little bit. So we go over here to my Frostwall Tavern, and we're going to look at what it looks like when you recruit somebody now. And you can still do this. There's nothing wrong with doing this. So you have to go back to traits. Increase rewards, and then you'll see that there's scavenging down here, but now there's extreme scavenging. This is replacing your treasure finding, and you'll note that on scavenging it says that it increases your garrison resources gained from a mission by 100%. Extreme version is 200%, so it's quite a bit more. That is sweet to have. So I'll go ahead and just select that. I don't know, that's a cool helmet. I'll pick that guy. It really doesn't matter at this point. So now we're building up garrison resources faster than ever, and that is great, and I'll explain why. Everybody, the posts that you should always have: Frostwall Tavern. You can get rid of that once you're maxed out on your treasure finders. Now, extreme scavengers, your war mill, and your barracks. The barracks give you 5 additional guys to use for missions, followers to use for missions, and your war mill is a great way to gear them out. So, because you want your guys all 675. So, and then the last thing you make sure you have is your trading post. Okay, so we go over to our trading post, and you could get at level 2 trading post. They have this vendor. Mine's currently level 3 because I like to have that auctioneer right there. But you could do this level 2, and there's a different vendor all the time, whatever. But if you look in here, there used to be a bag. It's like this bag, but it's brown. It used to give you gold for your garrison resources. It was 50 garrison resources for about 15 gold. It would fluctuate from like 13 to 16 gold. That bag is gone, but that's okay because it was just kind of a flat gold coming in and stuff like that. The thing that I think is going to be, and I've noticed that all these prices have gone up. Just noticed that actually as I'm looking at them right now. But we're making way more garrison resources, so all is not lost. But they did go up substantially because I want to say that it's 8 resources per fur on live, and now it's 20 here. Still, that's okay. So we're going to be buying as much fur as possible, I think, and you can make and I have a macro that's buy as much as I click and then sell, So anyway, so I could buy up as much as I want of this fur, right? And the reason that this is important, we're going to be sending it to our tailor. And I know that, like, oh wait, now I got to have a tailor for all this. Yes, it would be nice if you had a tailor. If you don't, there's still going to be people out there who need this fur. And the reason that is because these hex weave bags are the biggest bags that you can craft right now. There are cheaper bags, but 30 slot bags are still it. So you're making the pretty much the best bags you could craft still with these hex weave bags. I've looked, and there's cheaper bags coming, but there's not any bigger. And they're actually, I want to say one of them is like a 28 slot. It's not that great. Hex weave, I think, is still going to be the bag of choice. So you're using your Garrison to create the resources for these bags. Now, if you have an alchemist, I've got all these guys, but maybe you guys don't. That's fine. Maybe you just got the one guy. You have this Garrison you don't want to necessarily throw away. You're going to be using your Garrison resources. You're going to get a trade post. Get that trade post now. You're going to be using your Garrison resources to buy sumptuous fur to throw either craft hex weave bags or to throw an auction house for those who will. I believe fur is going to go up in price. That's the only thing from Draenor that's going up in price. Everything else everybody's got. Maybe leather will go up because everybody had to have the barns if you wanted to get a lot of fur otherwise, and to go out and trap and stuff like that, it's going to be a nuisance. Nobody wants to come back and do stuff like that. If you wanted it, if you really needed herbs or mining, you have those here in your Garrison. The only thing that you had to actually go out for was the barn. So that being said, you do that. Now, we also have the vendor. Okay, so now you're talking about what does it take to take a bag? Well, it takes furs and it takes the sorcerer's earths. Now, we saw that there's air over there. Sometimes there is earth through your shipyard, and that's great. But if you get air and all that stuff, you need earth for the bags. If you get air, water, or fire, you can convert those over with an alchemist. And they take the... And you could always craft this yourself too, but you could buy them with your primal spirits, which also show up in missions. So you can grab, see, I've got 32 here. You can just buy them, boom, for 5. And if you have your alts, you got alts that are just sitting around. You only play the alts here and there. If you're like me, you log in. Their job is to make money for you. So, so now we're buying those. We send those over to our alchemists, and they and with the sorcerer's air, water, or fire, and they convert those into sorcerer's earths. Now those we send to our tailor. So your tailor now has the earths and the cloth. They're crafting the bags. The bags you can send back to the main. You can throw in all of your bank cults, whatever you want. Start selling those bags. Or, now this is a big, if you don't have anything, just put it all in auction house. I'm pretty sure that's all still going to be selling well in auction house. Because people aren't going to have... The demand for these bags, I think, is going to still be pretty strong. I'm very confident that the demand for these bags is going to be strong. Matter of fact, I'm going to start stockpiling them while I have a chance. Because the price is around 800, sometimes 700 gold right now. I think I should start stockpiling them. Nevertheless, the demand for these bags is going to be high. And a tailor will not have everything always. And if they happen to have... Because remember, they have to craft the Draenic cloth, whatever the heck it's called. How you do the daily, you get about 20 cloth a day from it. I've got 2 tailors that do that. So they have to do that every day. So sometimes that'll get ahead of their sorcerer's earth, maybe. That's where you come in and being able to supply with sorcerer's earth. Or just that day, they're hopping on an alt that's their tailor. They don't want to do a lot of work. Oh shoot, I need some cloth or else I'm going to waste a day of making this. So let me just head to auction house. Oh look, I'm going to buy some off this guy. You just made gold. So there are other things you could buy here, but in Legion, all professions, like the gathering ones now, all the professions can start at level 1 using Legion stuff. So you wouldn't need old mats. You wouldn't really need anything except for making those bags. I mean, all this stuff's all garbage. All these meats and whatever, they're all garbage, really. I can't think of anything else that's going to be useful in Legion. Yeah, so I'm looking through all those. Savage Bloods, if you could still get Savage Bloods, there might be something there. I'll take a look at what we could do with Savage Bloods, because you could turn those... That sack of coins gives you like from 47 to 52 gold, I want to say. We got a friend who's making money doing that. Buying up old cheap Savage Bloods. People keep putting in auction house for 40 gold for some reason. He keeps buying them up and just vendoring them out. So anyways, that might be something there. Maybe people are going to empty out their resources. I'll keep an eye on that if he doesn't do it for me. So I just want to let you guys know that your garrisons are not gone. They're not useless. You just got to make some tweaks and understand that the market's changed. And I hope you guys have good luck with that. And yeah, happy gaming.